From Stamford Bridge to London Stadium, you stick your blue flag. Well, you know the rest of that song. Jonesy, Stamford Bridge to London Stadium doesn't quite have the same ring to it, does it? I wasn't at the game Saturday, did watch it on TV. Was there much of that song going around still? Has there been any amendment to the lyrics? Or is it still the good old Stamford Bridge to Upton Park? Yeah. And you know where to stick the blue flag?
Yeah, same old lyrics. It was sung quite a bit from what I recall. Usual songs between West Ham fans and Chelsea fans. But that Upton Park lives on. Yeah. Long live the bowling with that song, definitely.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Josie, one thing before we get into the Chelsea, I saw on Twitter earlier, and as you know, we're not in the business of digging out fellow West Ham fans on the podcast, anything like that. It's very much positive vibes where we can at We Are West Ham. Guy on Twitter earlier on, sort of not a massive following to be fair, West Ham fan. I'm not going to read his name out because, again, I'm not going to single people out. But someone said on Twitter, asking all West Ham supporters not to sing Tottenham get battered everywhere they go unless we're playing them makes us seem obsessed. Was also quite weird hearing it at 3-2 on Saturday. My immediate reaction to that is, bore off, mate. Like, what are you talking about? It's good fun. Tottenham are our biggest rivals. We're doing really well. They're having a hard time. That's literally what football's is all about. I say that was my initial reaction. That's still my reaction, and I don't think that's ever likely to change. So, first of all, was there a lot of that at the stadium, the Tottenham get battered version? Because we all love the West Ham are massive version as well. And what's your stance on what that West Ham fan has said on Twitter?
I mean, I don't recall it being sung at 3-2. In fact, I'm almost certain it wasn't. It may have been sung in some small pockets in and around the ground, but the bulk of it was West Ham are massive and bubbles and, you know, the usual. Our first thought when we were 3-2 up wasn't, Tottenham get battered everywhere they go. It was, oh my God, we're beating Chelsea 3-2.
Yeah.
I don't think it happened. But no, at the same time, like, what? If fans can't sing about their rivals because it makes them seem timid, then like, what's the point?
Makes us seem obsessed. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, I mean, like, what's the like? You don't have to be playing them just to sing about them,
and you don't have to sing either.
Yeah, like if you don't want to sing, don't join in. Like, I don't really get that. Don't really get that because they are our biggest rivals. They might lie and go, well, West Ham are irrelevant to us.
We don't
care about West Ham. Yeah, they definitely do.
Yeah, it's weird those three blokes on YouTube literally like crying their eyes out every time they lose to West Ham. But
they don't care.
Yeah. Anyway, Jonesy, I'm not. Right, we'll move on swiftly from that. Just something that I noticed earlier on. What a win, James. 3-2. Mason Mount's goal was phenomenal. Now, I had some intriguing dialogue with a Chelsea supporting friend of mine who's also a colleague. He's also a bit more senior than me. The way the grief I was giving him after the game probably hasn't done any good for my career prospects, but it was really funny. So that's where you're going to go with it. 3-2. What I was saying, after the jibing at each other had got out of the way, we actually both kind of agreed that it was quite a low quality game, especially compared to the Liverpool win. Obviously the same scoreline, but the Liverpool was a high quality game of football. It felt very much like I pointed to Mikel Antonio just decided he didn't fancy marking Thiago Silva for the opener. Mason Mount's goal, excellent finish, of course, but Declan Rice and Thomas Souček had a brief little spell of thinking they were Sunday League players in the middle of the park, which gave possession away, which Ziyech then crossed from, and Mount scores the goal. And then Masuaku's goal, obviously, is what it is. Everyone will have their own opinions on it. Arthur tweeted afterwards, which I thought was really funny, basically admitting that it was a complete fluke. Again, like a low quality goal that was. He was pointing to errors on their part. Obviously, when you're watching your own team, you don't perhaps notice any sloppy play as far as the opposition are concerned. Obviously, poor from their goalkeeper. I didn't really notice much in the build up to Bowen's and Masuaku's. So basically, if you said Bowen, 1 goal out of 5 that was a decent goal. Other than that, sloppy. It was mistakes that caused them rather than excellent play. But obviously delighted to get the win out of it. But you know what I mean? I didn't sort of feel like, wow, what a showcase of football. It was entertaining, but not great.
You had 2 very good finishes in the game, in Bowens and Mounts. I thought Mounts was like just an incredible finish from him, but Bowens is a very good goal. I didn't really see much in the build-up that suggested there was a mistake. I thought Soufal did pretty well to jump onto the second ball on the edge of the area and tee up Bowen. But the rest of it was, it wasn't great. Like our penalty, just a mistake from them. I mean, great from Bowen to anticipate it and put pressure on Mendy. There's a little bit of skill there, but in the end, it's down to Chelsea making a mistake. A set piece goal from Silva. It's a set piece goal, and they are very good at set pieces. And then obviously Masuaku's winner. So 2 out of 5 are very good finishes. I get what you mean about the losing possession leading up to Mount's goal.
That was so frustrating, mate.
I mean, it was frustrating, but the thing that stood out for me most was that Ben Johnson had completely lost Mount.
Yeah, but mate,
that was the thing that went,
because we had the ball, wasn't it? He was attacking.
The moment it happened, the moment the goal went in, we all said around us, we went, "What's Ben Johnson doing? Where's he gone missing?"
You couldn't, yeah.
But then obviously, because we looked like we might be able to launch an attack, and then
we had the ball, didn't we? Yeah.
And then suddenly it was they had the ball and then crossfield pass. But I think other than that, it wasn't. It'll only be a memorable game of football because of the way it was won. It won't be for its,
entertaining for sure.
But it won't be for
spectacle.
It won't be for the football on show. Let's put it that way. I don't think there weren't many moments where you go, that was a really good passage of play. It was just got 3 freak goals, 2 really good finishes, and the ground absolutely bouncing at 90 minutes.
Yeah. Nah, mate. I mean, I'd love to. That's the spectacle, isn't it? Like, that's entertainment right there. You don't just want pure football. That's kind of what you want from a Premier League encounter, especially when your team comes out on top. So those goals, then, Jonesy. The I assume you've seen the game back as well, mate. Have you? Yeah. So the goals, Thiago Silva, Antonio. I was quite annoyed, and it was just like, what is going on with him at the moment? Like, I don't know. Did you make of it the same, or
kind of? But then this Thiago Silva is always a threat, so he should be doing a little bit better in trying to stop that threat. But I mean, Chelsea are like us in that they're incredibly dangerous at set pieces. I think that's 10 set piece goals they've scored this season, which is more than anyone else, even more than us. So they're going to be a threat. So you would expect more from Antonio. But it's not really the thing. I mean, looking back at the goal, I didn't really go, that's Antonio's fault. He should have done a little bit better, but it's a good error.
Really?
Yeah. I wouldn't point.
He was unchallenged, wasn't he?
It was unchallenged, but
he seemed like it was obviously his man. But
I mean, he can do better. He should do better. But I still think probably he still wins the header, Thiago Silva, because he is very good in the air in those positions. Yeah,
okay, fair enough. Right, the penalty. Yeah, mate, by the way, what a hit from Lanzini. Yeah. That was sublime. It went right in the side netting, didn't it? Even if Mendy had gone the right way.
You don't get better penalties than that. You hit the side net and you score, regardless of where the keeper goes.
So the height was probably a bit dodgy, wasn't it? Like, would have been a nice height if he dived the right way. But so accurate.
Yeah, superb penalty. Weirdly enough, because he's taken penalties for us in the past, and I think he's taken a couple at White Hart Lane.
I was at Everton away when he missed one.
Okay, fair. I don't really recall that one, but he's. I mean, he can take a penalty. We know he can take a penalty. And everyone around me was like, "Oh no, what's he taking it for? What's Lanzini
Mate,
taking
so
it
was
for?"
I.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, no, he's a penalty taker. Like, I'd back him to score. I'd definitely back him to score. And everyone's like, nah, no, I think he'll miss. I think he'll miss.
That's what I was doing.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, no, like, I'd rather have him over it than someone like Declan Rice.
Really?
Yeah, 100%, 100%, 100%.
Really? What?
Yeah.
Why though? Why? What?
Well, I
Based on
mean,
what?
he was always our backup penalty taker when Noble was playing it week in, week out. And if ever he'd been taken off or something, then Lanzini, because Lanzini was playing week in, week out as well. He was always our backup. I see he's taken quite a few penalties for us.
Right.
And he's only missed one. So
Well, in my head, again, I'm just trying to overlook it now. In my head, it's seared into my head. We played Everton away. I'm not sure. I think might have been Moyes' final game in charge. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. I'm just trying to look it up now, and
that was
try
home
and see
against
if
Everton.
No, he did. He 100%. It was away against Everton, and he missed one. I think. Yeah, we lost 3-0. I think it was. I don't. No, sorry, no, it wasn't Moyes. Moyes was in charge of us at the time. Yeah, West Ham did have a chance to get back into the game at 2-0 down, but Manuel Lanzini missed a penalty before Rooney scored Everton's third from inside his own half. Yeah, it was that game, and I was at that one. And yeah, I remember that. And that's just, I don't know if you can get it up there, Lanzini's penalty record, if that's on Google at all. But I just had that seared into my head. And I don't know, it's just, I just didn't fit. He's one of those players who I hate that do that, like look like they're going to do a stuttered run up or just try and do something clever. When I'm just like, just flipping Julian Dixit or Ray Stewart it into the corner or just smash it as hard as you can.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, but complete humble pie afterwards. Perfect finish.
So I've got his penalty record up. It's actually his entire career.
Yep.
He's only ever taken 5 penalties his entire career. 4 of those have been at West Ham.
Right.
He's missed one in that Everton game. He scored the other 3.
Right.
West Brom away, 2016.
Right.
Lost that game 4-2.
Right.
Spurs away, 2016. So literally 2 months after the first one, lost that 3-2, and then a Chelsea game at the weekend.
All right.
So I always backed him. I thought, yeah, no,
so
you can take a game up for it. You're not 100% wrong. Yeah, you're not 100% wrong.
3, yeah.
But no, I always backed him. I always thought he'd be my second choice penalty taker. So yeah, good finish as well.
Yeah, sublime pen. Now, the Mason Mount goal, they were absolutely spaffing off about it on commentary to the point where it was like, all right, like goal of the season contender, they called it. And it was like, I mean, it was nice. It was a nice finish. But, I mean, it was a brilliant ball, brilliant pass from Ziyech, first of all. We've already covered how sloppy it was from West Ham to lose possession. But once you've got it, you've still got to do that. And it was, like, to score from there was, like, really skillful. Brilliant pass. Fell right onto his foot, his stronger foot. Pass was brilliant. And he just side-footed it. It wasn't like a laces volley back across the goal or anything like that. Put his side foot in the way and it squeezed in at the near post. Like, a nice finish, but the reaction to it was over the top, if you ask me. But the giving it to the crowd as well, and then all the memes I've seen afterwards, the before and after memes, are superb.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good finish. Very, very good goal. But yeah, to continue going on about it, I don't know. And I did notice that when he scored, and I see him go over to the West Ham
right
fans
in my corner, that is.
Yeah. And I thought, what's he up to?
Yeah, that's literally like my corner where I would have been as well, and like giving it the old tongues out and cupping the ears to the crowd and all that sort of thing. I'd have absolutely hated it. Trent Alexander-Arnold did the same thing the other week, mate. It's obviously cursed.
Yeah, it's weird how players, I don't know, like we weren't giving him any stick. Like, I don't recall West Ham fans giving Mason Mount any sticks. So I don't know why he felt the need to go and do that. And obviously, I look back at their highlights and they cut over to Declan Rice, and he's like, I can't believe my mate's just done that.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm never going to be the last of that. But
yeah,
last laugh in the end. Happy days.
Yeah. The like picture of Mount's face at the end was just superb. But I like that, to be honest. Like if I was a footballer, I'd be giving it to the home. If I was an away player, I'd be giving it to the home fans all the time. I'd be proper Robbie Savage-esque.
Or Neal Maupay for that. Do you see?
Yeah.
You see him shushing the Southampton fans at the weekend after he scored that last minute equaliser. It's like Southampton fans definitely wouldn't have been giving him stick, surely.
Yeah,
he's still like shushing them in the 95th minute. It's
and
like,
you've drawn 1-1.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Yeah, I did like his celebration at West Ham, must admit. We'll go into that more in the Brighton reaction next. But yeah, when he just launched himself into the away end, I was a big fan of that. But yeah, so that's Mount's goal out of the way. Jonesy, the Lanzini pen, which we've covered, it was absolutely superb, by the way. The same thing, Reece James giving it like he was trying to put him off just as he was getting ready, wasn't he? He was like in his ear in close quarters. And then there's a picture just as Lanzini's stepping up to take it and I didn't know that professional football players did this. And I always think that's what I'd do if I was playing. But Reece James is on the edge of the box, just screaming as Lanzini goes up to take it. He's just like, ah! And I've always thought it's fantastic. That's definitely that. So I thought it was quite funny to see that going on. But Lanzini going back to him afterwards, getting in his face, giving it a shove. Love it. That's what football's about. It was brilliant to see that.
Yeah, it's good to see.
Here we go. No, Mr. I don't want Millwall in the cup.
Listen, I don't know why footballers think that would work. It's just there's 60,000 people in the stadium screaming.
Yeah, so but if you're that close, it gets in your head, doesn't it?
Why is a footballer screaming at the penalty taker going to suddenly put him off when there's 60,000 other fans in the ground screaming?
No, but they're not, are they? It just gets in your head. I just think it's a mental thing, isn't it? Obviously, that's what it is.
It didn't work.
But
it didn't work.
If you were stepping up to take a penalty and like you're already nervous and someone's like screaming at you, I think it would put me off as well.
Yeah, but Manuel Lanzini weren't nervous. Look at how well he took the penalty. He weren't nervous. He knew exactly what he was doing.
And all right, put it this way then: as the only one of us who has scored at the London Stadium, would you have missed your finish in the summer if I'd have screamed just as you taken it? Because I sure as hell screamed after it went in.
To be fair, mate, I can't remember because I was so knackered I didn't even mean to score. Well, I say that I meant to score, but I didn't mean to kick it where it ended up. Let's put it that way. I was so knackered.
Rather swinging a leg. Yeah, fair play, mate. Fair play. So that was the Mount one out the way. Jared Bowen's really nice play, wasn't it? Soufal, nice little layoff from him. Brilliant finish. Nice hard and low, as my dad always says. Any shot that misses that's more than 6 inches off the ground, my dad just goes, it's hard and low. That's all you need to do. Hard and low. That's like his football catchphrase. If you think you like a cliche, he has worn that one out over the last 30 years, something rotten. But yeah, nice low firm finish. Beyond Mendy, who didn't have his best of games, bless him. But yeah, just nice goal from West Ham, that one. And then, yeah, I mean, King Arthur comes on to the end. A couple of my group chats booting off. Oh, what are they bringing him on for? He's such a catastrophe, such a calamity nightmare, etc., etc. And then, bang. Honestly, mate, because I love him so much anyway, I was convinced he'd done it on purpose. I was like, that's on purpose. He's seen him off the line. And then, I see the replay, and his eyes like was so blatantly looking for a cross, just went to like the right. So I was looking in the middle, and then he kicks it, goes straight in. People are slagging Mendy for that one. I don't think you can give him grief, but yeah, I just weren't sure if it took a slight deflection or what. But even so, just it almost made it better to win in such a, and we don't swear on this podcast, but forgive me, this one, in such a shithouse manner. Yeah, wasn't it? It's just like brilliant.
Weirdly, like from where we were on the ground, it looked like it had taken a huge deflection, and we didn't realise until probably once we got in the pub and got around to actually watching the replay again after the game, where it was oh my god, like no, it just went straight in. Like we just assumed that it just taken a huge deflection and it'd be an own goal. But yeah, he was looking for the cross. He's at the top corner. I don't think you can blame Mendy. Like Mendy will be annoyed. Yeah. But he's been caught off guard. Mendy's positioned for the cross. That's where he's positioned for.
And 999 kicks of a ball from that position go into the middle of the box. So you have to position yourself based on what's going to happen the majority of the time, don't you? You go with the odds.
Exactly.
The fact that
Yeah.
it was a freak encounter, that wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Like I don't know why people blame him for it, to be fair, because it's like he was doing what he was supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No. What was the atmosphere like from the Chelsea fans, Jonesy?
They're all right. Pretty quiet for much of the but obviously like Chelsea fans do pop up every now and then. Obviously
Yeah, they're pretty good, aren't they?
they were loudest when they scored, obviously. But yeah, they had their moments. Probably quieter than they would normally be. But
Lunchtime, mate. Told you, freezing cold lunchtime.
yeah, it didn't help the fact that, you know, they didn't really dominate the game.
No.
And obviously, and they weren't leading for any like real long period.
Yeah.
So I don't think they really had a chance to really start like gloat at us a little bit because every time they scored, we pegged them back. So yeah, they weren't as loud as they would normally be, Chelsea fans.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough, mate. Fair enough. One little bit of bad news to come out of the game. Jonesy, Kurt Zuma went off injured. Now, we're recording this part of the podcast on Monday evening at 8:20. I saw some very worrying, albeit unsubstantiated, reports before we started recording that it's an ACL and that it could be a while out of the game for him as well. Have you got any more on that, Jonesy? What did you see of it at the time? I didn't really see the clash. What did you make of it in the ground? And do you know any more about it since?
Well, on the day, it was very similar to the Ogbonna one where he got injured and played on for a little bit, and then in the end just was like, no, I just can't carry on. But yeah, I've seen the ACL rumours. I'm loath to even like entertain those rumours because it hasn't come from any sort of decent source. A mate of mine put in our WhatsApp group earlier today that he thinks it's 8 weeks, which is obviously preferable to the ACL. He actually called Ogbonna's ACL before it was made official, so I'm kind of wondering whether he's heard something about it. But the trouble with Twitter is that one person says it, and it spreads like wildfire, doesn't it? There's been no official, not even any journalists have been reporting it. So yeah, I don't really know. It's difficult to really call. Hope, like obviously, if it is an ACL, that's devastating. Not just for him, but for us as well.
The club, yeah, for sure.
Lose your two centre halves to ACLs in the space of a few weeks. That's like
bad luck, isn't it?
Yeah, but hopefully it is the 8 weeks that my mate said. I don't know whether there's been anything more since we started recording, but
yeah,
we're bound to hear something soon, I'm sure.
Yeah. Fair enough, mate. Well, look, that superb win puts us or keeps us in fourth place. One thing, Jonesy, I didn't really notice that is a little bit concerning is that Tottenham, after they won their game, they've actually got a game in hand over us, haven't they? Because that Burnley game that was postponed. I didn't realise how close us actually were. But if they win that game in hand, I'm not sure when that's been rearranged for, but they're only 2 points behind us. And if they win that game at Burnley, they actually go above us. They've played 14 with 25 points, and we've played 15 with 27. I actually thought that the 4 points we got against Brighton and Chelsea would have, or at least for another week, like cemented our position in fourth. But yeah, if it was level on games, Tottenham win that spare, we're actually only fifth, which obviously is a little bit concerning. You'd rather have the points on the board, but I didn't. Spurs being a bit sneaky there.
Yeah, Conte's gone in and kind of almost gone under the radar a little bit there, hasn't he? Everyone kind of assumes that they're still, after they lost in the Europa League to Mura or whoever it is, everyone's kind of assuming that they're still doing terribly in the league. But actually, like, he's got on playing in the league without Harry Kane as well. I mean, he's been playing, but he's still missing. So, yeah, they are coming out. And obviously, I work with a lot of, both my bosses are Spurs fans. And they're very quick to remind me that, enjoy fourth because we're having it soon once we win our game in hand. And I'm like, we still got to beat Burnley, mate. And if you can't beat Mura, then, I mean, yeah, well, we'll see.
Can you beat Burnley? Yeah, exactly. Right, Jonesy, it's a brilliant win against Chelsea. Just another historic performance, another historic occasion in this, what's turning into another historic season for West Ham. I'm absolutely loving it. You're absolutely loving it. And it's brilliant times indeed. We're going to have a very brief look back to Brighton next. We're going to mainly keep it short because I'm so furious that we still haven't broken that stupid, ridiculous record. Look back at the Seagulls game next before Betway Charity Bets, and then we start looking forward. Stay with us. Brighton reaction next. Lads, the holidays have come early this year as our partners Manscaped have the gift that keeps on trimming with a whole host of male grooming products on offer, from the Lawnmower 4.0 to their new refined cologne and everything in between. Manscaped have got everything you need to make sure you're looking more Michael Bublé and less Santa Claus this holiday season. And in the spirit of Christmas, you can get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com with the code WeAreWestHam. That's 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com with the code WeAreWestHam, all one word. Now is the perfect time to get yourself or a loved one the gift of shaving. I am talking about the Manscaped Performance Package 4.0. The Performance Package 4.0 is the best in the business. This hygiene bundle includes the Lawnmower 4.0, the Weed Whacker, a pair of boxer shorts, a travel kit, and liquid formulations.
Yeah, for those who don't know, the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer is waterproof with advanced skin-safe technology to reduce nicks and cuts, and it even has a light to help with all those little dark spots down below. And then there's the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer with its proprietary skin-safe technology that helps prevent nicks, snags, and tugs. Also in the Manscaped Performance Package 4.0 is Crop Preserver, which is a spray that protects against chafing, the Crop Reviver, which will ensure things down there remain fresh at all times, and then there's the Foot Duster, which will make even the ugliest of feet, like mine, look and smell lovely, and much, much more. And to top it all off, you even get a shed travel bag so you can carry all your precious Manscaped products in style everywhere you go. So to get your hands on the Manscaped Performance Package 4.0 and to see all the other lovely male grooming products they have on offer ahead of the festive season, head over to manscaped.com today. And remember, get 20% off and free shipping with the code WeAreWestHam. That's WeAreWestHam, all one word, WeAreWestHam. It's 20% off, free shipping at manscaped.com. So go on, make Santa proud and cement your place on his nice list this Christmas by joining the Manscaped movement.
West Ham United 1, Brighton and Hove Albion 1. I don't know what to say, Jonesy, really. It's so annoying, man. The Chelsea game's brilliant, so it has obviously, overshadowed or taken over those feelings already, slightly. But how, in this season to end all seasons, what a wonderful time we're having. The teams we've beaten, we've already mentioned them, Man City, Man United, Liverpool and Chelsea already defeated this season, and Tottenham Hotspur. We've got Arsenal in 10 days' time, I think it is. Really, really back us to beat them at the Emirates as well. What a season that would be with all those scalps. How the hell, mate, can we still not beat Brighton and Hove Albion? I mean, even the name is ridiculous. It's like, what is going on?
I mean, I'm lost for words. I really felt, because they didn't really threaten us. They
didn't at all.
They had more of the ball in the second half, but they weren't creating anything. Didn't really look like they were going to score, even though they were dominating the ball. And it was like this is going to peter out. It's going to be a 1-0 after us scoring in the fourth minute or whatever it was. And then that's going to be it. And it's going to be like one of the most forgettable games ever. But at least we finally beaten Brighton. And we didn't even get that.
Yeah.
I'm just like 4-0 at the bar in the first half. It's just the whole thing's just back. Still, like I still look back now. Obviously, as you said, the Chelsea game kind of makes it a little bit easier at the stomach. But how on earth 6 draws in a row against them? Haven't
Man, that's
beaten them in
nine
beaten them in 9.
times.
Yeah,
9 times
yeah.
since 2017.
I
We've
was
played
saying
them
to someone
9
earlier.
times, and we haven't got a single win in that time. That's
Nah,
ridiculous.
I was saying to someone earlier. I was like, it's getting to the point where I'm beginning to dislike Brighton.
Oh, big time, mate. Yeah.
Like to the point where, like, and to be fair, like, no one in the world should really ever dislike a club like Brighton. But I'm swaying towards disliking Brighton as a football club.
Yeah, I
For
hate
no
them
other
now,
reason. For no other reason other than the fact that we just can't beat them. And when we've already spoken about it, when you've got Neal Maupay scoring an overhead kick like that, I mean, great finish, by the
I
way.
know.
But happening right in front of us, and he's running over, and the Brighton fans are chucking flares on the pitch, and I'm like, why?
Yeah, that was cool. That.
And I'm going, why aren't they getting banned? We got banned for something similar in wherever it was, Genk or something.
Yeah, I mean, ours was 150 fans running the stadium at tickets, but I'm with you.
Yeah, I can't believe it. Like, we've got someone like Neal Maupay, who you've already said it, so I'm going to say it. Arguably the biggest shithouse in the Premier League, by the way. Right. And he's gone and done that, and he's just standing there in complete disbelief.
Mate, yeah.
A geezer behind me goes, it's been 10 years since we beat Brighton, since that 6-0 win in the Championship.
Yeah.
All right, what on earth is going on?
Yeah. Mate, honestly, after that game, because it had that impact on the league as well, and we'd bigged up the game before on the podcast with me about how important it was like, oh, yeah, it's huge on both fronts. After the game, I was just like double miffed, and it was the first time I've felt like I had that feeling that I had week in, week out, year in, year out for so long at West Ham. That sort of, why do I bother? Like, what's the point of this? Like, what is the point? Just general like despondency and dejection. That was it. Like not being able to like compute it in my head or like find any positives out of it. And I was trudging back for freezing cold. Literally just like, why do I bother? We can't even beat, even though we're obviously well good, but I was like, we can't even beat Brighton at home. We haven't beaten Brighton in 9 attempts. It's Brighton. Like, this isn't funny. Like, there must be better things I could be doing my Wednesday night in flipping December. I was proper downhearted and just dejected, mate. And that's because I was thought, oh, we'd probably lose to Chelsea. That's going to be no wins in 4. And I was just on the cusp of it being like, here we go again. Same old West Ham, right? 12th. Moyes is going to be sacked by February. All load of injuries. Oh, well. And I was already like justifying it to myself, never, ever supporting West Ham again. Just being like, oh, well, I'll see him away in Europe this year. Yeah, I've basically completed it. Been to loads of grounds in the country. I wonder what I'll do with my time. Now I'm not going to support West Ham anymore. I was just so annoyed, mate. And it's even now, it's just such a ridiculous crap record, isn't it? Like, such an embarrassing thing. Everyone's beaten Brighton at some point. Like, and the worst thing is as well, the newcomers always beat Brighton. Like, someone will get promoted from the Prem and beat Brighton within the first 6 weeks, won't they? Like, guaranteed every season. So, God, blimey, I wish we were as big as Norwich City or West Brom or Brentford.
It reminds me of, I mean, it's worse than this, but it reminds me of when Wolves came out in the first 2 seasons they were up. We couldn't score against them, and they beat us 4 times. And it was annoying me that we just couldn't score against Wolves. But we managed to win that after 4 games. We beat them 4-0, and it's like, oh yeah, well, finally we're putting into that. But the Brighton thing, like, it's almost one of football's biggest mysteries.
Yeah. 6 draws. I'm just looking at the results now. Last 6 results: 1-1, 1-1, 2-1, 3-1, 1-1, 2-1. What?
Yeah.
What?
It's not even a boring 0-0 in there. They almost tease us with the goals.
Yeah, as if like, oh, this could actually be like a good game here. It's like, well, it will be if we win. Anyway, ridiculous stuff. What did you make of the Mikel Antonio one? That was right down my end, and again, it's hard to say, but I was disappointed that when they were checking it first for the foul, I thought, yeah, fair enough. Like, from the one view I had of it straight away, I was like, yeah, that I could understand that. And then then they switched it on the VAR on the screen, didn't they, from foul to checking offside. I was like, oh, that's not good. And then they took ages on it, and the longer they took, I was like, oh, well, they're obviously going to give it now. Like the longer they take, they just end up like looking for a reason to give it, don't they? And then when it got disallowed, I was like, oh, that is really annoying because that would have been like nail in the coffin, wouldn't it? You'd hope. Yeah. Like didn't leave us open to such a flipping ridiculous. I mean, the overhead kick was class, like you said, but yeah, it would have sealed it. And the Fornals hitting the bar. God, mate, I'm still annoyed that we deserved to win that game as well. Everyone's saying we were rubbish. People were booing after. Well, sorry, let's go one thing at a time. Sorry, you can still have it's just rattling me. The goal, Mikel Antonio's goal. I didn't watch it back because I was just generally disgruntled by the evening. So I haven't actually seen it since. The only feedback I've got was what I got in group chats and stuff saying it's harsh. As far as I understand it, he got pinged for offside for being... Was it blocking off a defender or something who would have been able to clear it maybe?
I'm still trying to work it out myself. And I'm pretty sure VAR was a little bit unsure at the time. It felt like they were just finding reasons not to give it rather than the other way around. And from what I've seen, he was definitely on the side because there's two Brighton defenders behind the goalkeeper. Because I thought, oh, maybe if it's one behind the goalkeeper and he's behind the goalkeeper, then it's offside because it's last man. But there's two Brighton defenders there. It comes off, I think it's Lewis Dunk. Before
was it Dawson, wasn't it?
I can't remember. I can't remember who it was, but it still comes off Lewis Dunk before it then allegedly hits Antonio. And if it hits Antonio, it's hit the fibres of his socks. Like it does barely touch him, if at all. So, I mean, looking back on it, it is incredibly harsh, and it did feel like they were just trying to, after a while, after 5 minutes, they were like, well, we need to find a reason not to give this. Because it was just like, it wasn't a clear and obvious error. And that's the point of VAR, isn't it?
If it's offside, offside's not clear and obvious error, so is it? Offside is offside.
But what weren't they giving? They changed the offside with VAR to give benefit of the doubt to the attacker.
Well, no.
But that's
there's thick lines and all that. But
yeah, but it was that close that there was absolutely no way that it was a clear and obvious offside, even with the thick or thin lines. So, and there was still you still couldn't be 100% sure that it actually touched Antonio.
Right.
So that's my main issue with it is that if you can't be 100% sure that it's touched Antonio, then you can't give offside.
There is that. I agree with you where there should be the attacker should get the benefit of the doubt. Shouldn't, and not if it's a clear and obvious decision, but if it's like, if there's not a lot in it, then you can't really argue with it, can you?
No, of course not.
Like, as in it should go to the attacker then, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why they brought in the thicker lines. But I can't. Yeah, I mean, it's harsh. I mean, if it has touched Antonio, and you can't be sure that it has.
But right, I'm going to watch it. I'm watching it back now, Jonesy. So it does hit Dawson. The ball definitely hits Dawson because it wasn't right. I'll do a little bit of commentary here, Jonesy. I mean, everyone's probably seen it already, so this is just new learning for me and you. Corner comes in, Cresswell scooting around, definitely hits Dawson, and you can't really see from that angle whether it hits Antonio. VAR slowing it down here, hits Dawson for sure. Nah, he is in an offside position. Whether or not it hits him, yeah, I see what you mean. Whether it hits him or not, God, that is harsh. Yeah, he was offside. It did hit Dawson, which was when the ball went forward. But yeah,
that's my point. Is that if you can't 100% tell that Antonio, if you're 50-50 whether Antonio touched the ball, then you can't give it. You can't give it as an offside
because the referee and the linesman didn't, did they?
Exactly. But instead, they've looked at it and gone, "Can't be sure. We'll give that offside." And it's
long way around.
It's not how it works. So that's why it's harsh. And Moyes was understandably very, very upset about it afterwards.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Should we just start saying we have beaten Brighton then? Should we just do that instead? Just start. If people ask, just say no. Beat him last time. Antonio scored. Officially, we didn't beat him, but we actually did. We scored 2 goals. So
yeah, I'm up
scored
for that.
1.
Yeah, let's do that. Cool. Yeah, I'm up for
that. Neal Maupay launching themselves into the away fans. Had a lot of time for that. To be honest, obviously I was frustrated, and the flair as well. Throwing the flair on the pitch when you've just drawn 1-1. That was brilliant. That is, I did like that. So what the hell? Getting a 1-1 draw at West Ham, you're letting off flares. But one last thing, Jonesy. People around me, a couple of people booing at the final whistle. Get a grip, proper get a grip behaviour. That you booed, didn't you? I can just see by your face you booed.
Nah, we said the same thing at the end of the game. And do you know what? It reminded me of, remember we were talking to the Brighton fan last week and we were asking about Graham Potter's comments to the Brighton fans who booed with their 0-0, was it 0-0 against Leeds or something?
Yeah.
And he quite rightly come out and said, short memories, like,
we've just gone 8th.
Yeah, we've just gone 8th.
History lesson, wasn't it? Yeah.
And I straight away, I was like, really? Why are we booing this? Okay, it's frustrating. We've just conceded again at the last minute at home and we've dropped points. And it's against Brighton. We can't beat Brighton. But that doesn't warrant booing in a season like we're having.
Definitely,
when you consider the last 2 years that we've had under David Moyes. Like, if you're booing after that, like, what were you like when we were in relegation battles, for crying out loud? Like, what's happened?
Totally.
I just don't think any normal, rational West Ham fan would have booed. Like, I wonder.
There weren't loads, but there was a few.
Who was booing? Who was booing? Was it? I don't know. Tourists? I don't know.
Tories?
It could be. I just don't know. Like, I just think, what rational West Ham fan boos in
I agree, mate. It's just baffling. I was like, get a hold of yourself if you're booing that. And that was the thing, as we were talking about it there, just reminded me, we could have easily won 3-0. Fornals hit the bar, and that was a whisker away from being enough to go in. I thought it was in, and obviously didn't bounce over the line. The referee looked at his watch, whatever. I thought that one was in. The Antonio one could easily have been a 3-0 game, and Maupay's one was a freak goal. You'll never find me booing or being that annoyed when you're beaten or lose out on a point to real quality. That was an outstanding finish. When someone does an overhead kick into the corner or pings one in from 30 yards, you can't argue with that. You can't be annoyed at your players or whatever. You just got to applaud the quality of the opposition, and that was a brilliant finish from Maupay. So absolute few heads needed a wobble after that when you're booing at the end of a... We didn't even lose. That was what was baffling, mate. We didn't even lose. We literally drew. We drew, could have scored 3 goals, did score 1, and were pegged back by a moment of outstanding quality. Baffling stuff. But